Hi, my name is Carrie McEwen, and I'm going to talk to you about my mind map for my website. And basically, I really wanted to focus my website on a digital portfolio because I feel like that's a really cool thing that can help me stand out in front of people I'm competing against for a job. And a lot of times, teachers will bring in a hefty physical binder full of all their lessons and examples. And while I will still bring that in because it's helpful during the interview process, I think this will be something that will be really unique to leave at the end of an interview or add on to my cover letter. So for my digital portfolio, the first thing that I'm going to have is an About Me section. And this About Me section will be there right when you open the page. So with this, there will be my name, of course, and a resume, letters of recommendation, along with a brief explanation of who each person writing my explanation is, where they work or who they work for. Then I will also include my teaching philosophy, and in addition to a writing of my teaching philosophy, I will also include an audio file of me explaining this philosophy. Then at the very bottom, I will have a Get to Know Me section in which there will be pictures of me along with an audio file describing who I am, how I got to where I am, and why I've always wanted to be a teacher. Then there will be a classroom management section. And classroom management is one of the most important parts of a education system. And so because of this, I will include my research classroom management plan. I took a class with Kelly Brock where we had to create an evidence-based management plan, and mine's about 45 pages. So this is a little hefty to go through. So because of that, I will include the file and tabs that describe what each part is, along with a screencast of me going through the file and briefly explaining each section, as well to show employers that I am developing something that is research-based. Next, I will include a parent communication part in which I will include 2 parent welcome letters along with audio that goes along with one of those letters, and the audio will basically be just me reading through the letter and will be a great way to interact with the students and the parents. Then I also will include a digital think sheet, and this is basically part of a positive behavior intervention plan in which I will have a student who is not meeting behavior expectations fill out a Google slideshow stating what they are not doing correctly and how they are planning to fix that. And this is helpful to have digitally because otherwise, for meetings or IEP plans, the teacher may just be looking through files and files and files, but with this, it is on one single Google slideshow document for that student. Then I also will include my attendance Google form and a screencast of me going through this as if I was one of the students. And I've always loved the idea of doing this because it allows the students to take their own attendance along with state what they're getting for lunch. And I also, on my form, I have a How Are You Today section that kind of lets me know what each student is doing that day and if there's anything that I can do to help them. Then I also have a digital reward system, and this is a whole classroom reward system on a Google slideshow in which if the class is meeting expectations or doing incredibly well, they will get something added to that Google slide, and once everything is added, they will get a prize or get a class party. And I will do a screencast showing how this would work in a classroom just to kind of show the interactive bits of it. Then I will have a literacy and social studies section in which I will include lesson plans for ELA and social studies along with student work examples that match up with each of those lessons. For each set of student work examples, I will create a screencast going through each of the examples and just discussing what I noticed and what I learned from that lesson. I will also include a screencast describing my opinion writing 2-week unit plan, and also with that I will also show student work examples that show growth. For this specific unit plan, I did a pre-assessment, a mid-assessment, and a post-assessment, so I will show student growth by showing the same 3 students' works through those different assessments and discuss once again what I learned from that. Similarly, I also will include a science and math section in which, just like up here, I will include math lessons and a science lessons, and I will really explain these lessons by also including work examples in the same manner that I do up here, in which I will incorporate a screencast or an audio file describing exactly what those work showed and what I noticed. Also, I will include a slideshow going through my Glow Week, and for this, basically for my 4th grade student teaching placement, we did a Glow Week where we blacked out the rooms, got disco lights, black lights, and glow sticks, and focused on glow-in-the-dark stuff for the week and learning through that means. And it was a really fun way to interact with the students and teach them different things. Part of that was I had to create science lessons that related to glow-in-the-dark, so I will include those slideshow examples for those lessons along with student work examples within the slideshow and do a screencast of me just going through each of those. Finally, I will also include my 4-week fractions unit plan and a screencast describing this, and this is really important because I essentially designed the whole fractions curriculum for the entire 4th grade at Lansingburg, so this will be a great way to showcase my skills and what I can do. I will also provide QR codes and links to each of the actual fraction lessons that were in these 4 weeks to show how I actually taught these lessons. To provide QR codes that link to each of the lesson slideshows that I taught off of to show how exactly I taught these lessons in the classroom. Next, I will also include a diversity section in my website because diversity is something really important to show that you can teach into and teach to in the classroom. So the first thing I will do is I will show an example of my project-based learning assignment, which I did with my 2nd grade classroom, where we taught about Black History Month. And specifically, each grade got their own Black History Month topic. Ours was sports. So with this, we had to learn about influential African Americans in sports and then create a door that related to a specific person in our topic. We'll make sure to include pictures of what that looked like and an audio file describing exactly how I taught this in the classroom. This also does somewhat relate to the social studies lessons up here, and I will make sure to point that out in this section. Also, I will include a Ramadan slideshow that we created in my 4th grade placement for a student who was Muslim. Essentially, they really wanted to show their friends what they were doing and why they were celebrating Ramadan. And this was something that we created so that the student would have an easier means of explaining that to the students. I will do a screencast of myself going through the slideshow as it is more interactive. Then I will also include a technology use section, and this is incredibly important as we are in a more digital age. This section specifically is the most likely to change as we continue to learn more tools in this class to use in our own classrooms. So the first thing I will do is I will include a section on audio use in the classroom, and for this I will include my own audio file and screencast that we made in the previous weeks, and this will really emphasize why I think this is important. I will also include my Animoto that I created this week, which was based on a classroom management idea, but I will use this here to show how I plan to continue to use Animoto in the future. I also will do a brief explanation of Pixton and how I use this to teach students how to tell stories and create graphic novels in the classroom. Finally, I will include a section on mind mapping, as I think that this would be really helpful in helping students learn how to brainstorm different ideas. This is my idea for my website. If you have any comments or ideas on how I could expand this or change things up, I would definitely appreciate it. Thanks for listening.